Governor Jon Corzine brought smiles to the faces of New Jersey soldiers today by strengthening their voice in New Jersey's electoral process. At the West Orange Armory in Essex County, Corzine signed the Uniformed and Civilian Overseas Voting Act into law and told members of New Jersey's National Guard that they can now vote, apply for an absentee ballot, and register to vote online while serving overseas. According to Corzine, soldiers could only do this via fax or mail in the past.
We have significantly made more available the right of an individual soldier to vote.
This is a great day for the New Jersey National Guard. This is a great day for all of us who wear the uniform of our armed services.
Soldiers in attendance were visibly touched.
I think it's wonderful. First of all, it stands for what we stand for our country, a freedom of speech, a freedom to right to vote. And it just really coherences and makes it a much better avenue for us.
It gives us a piece of what we're fighting for.
Corzine pointed out that soldiers could not vote in local elections prior to this legislation.
It's amazing somebody couldn't vote for their local mayor, freeholder, in statewide elections, other than statewide elections, excuse me. We've changed the law now to allow that to happen.
Corzine explained that the new online system is much more secure than a fax machine.
What we're trying to do is have online connections with local county organizations that will allow for the direct recording of this in a much more private manner.
I actually kind of liked hearing this because I was getting deployed during the last election, couldn't vote in the local state stuff that was happening, and several of my soldiers didn't want to take the time to fill out the paperwork because they had no solid proof, and neither do I during the last elections, that my vote was counted. There was no way to track it. If I'm going out to the website now for the guys that are deployed, they get a confirmation that their vote did count.
This impacts people's lives. Having a right to vote, to make your voice heard.
Secretary of State Nina Mitchell-Wells, whose task is to implement the newly enacted legislation, said soldiers can visit www.njelections.org for more information. Corzine also signed the Professional License Extension Act into law, which extends professional licenses of deployed soldiers.
A lot of folks have to apply and hold licenses for whatever their business operations would allow them to be a medical doctor or other things. But if you were overseas and didn't have the ability to follow through on all the application processes and the renewal process, you could be subject to losing a license and be in violation and lose your right to economic gain that would come from that. Here we are automatically staying that license until people return home and then adding on 120 days to allow individuals to maintain those efforts.
By doing this, I think we honor you. It's our way of thanking you for what you do.
It's a great advantage for our nurses and our docs when they deploy to know that they could come back and have an extension on their licenses.